Okay, so in this course, we said earlier that we're going to be drawing from many different branches of science. So already in this episode, we talked a little bit about chemistry. So now we want to talk a little bit about physics. And you're going to need to know what a force is. So a force is going to be abbreviated with a capital F. So that's the abbreviation for force. The official metric unit is going to be the Newton. And then the word Newton is abbreviated with a capital N. And if you're in America, the English unit for force would be the pound. Okay, but if you're watching me from Europe, then it's going to be the Newton. And we're going to try to stick with metric units in this video series. So what is a force? It's a push or a pull. So if you're playing tug of war and you grab the rope and you're pulling on the rope, then you're going to be exerting a pull on it. You're exerting a force on that rope. If you're trying to move a refrigerator, you have to push on it. So you're going to be applying a force to that refrigerator. So it's a push or a pull. So what can a force do? So one thing is it can change the speed of an object. And another name for that is acceleration. So a force can make an object accelerate. And so that very first picture there is time-lapse photography of a falling basketball. So that the basketball starts out up here when you click your stopwatch. And then at the end of 1 second, it will have fallen a certain distance. And then at the end of 2 seconds, it will have fallen a further distance because it is accelerating. So if it's accelerating, that means its speed is changing. In this case, the speed is increasing. So if you're going faster, that means you can cover a longer distance in the same amount of time. So if you look at the distance between the photographs of the basketball as it's falling, you should notice that the distance is getting larger as it falls. It's hard to see. So if I take this thing and I drop it, it actually is going faster and faster as it falls. But it's kind of hard to see. So you need to photograph it this way in order to notice that it really is accelerating. So another thing that a force can do is it can change the direction of an object. And so this is, again, a picture of billiard balls that are moving around after they've been struck by the cue ball. And you notice that they're moving in different directions. So that a force acting on an object can cause that object to move in a different direction. And then finally, a force can change the shape of an object. And that's a picture of mountains. Now later in the course, we're going to find out that when you've got an ocean, carbon dioxide, so CO2, mixes with ocean water, and then it precipitates calcium carbonate, which makes layer after layer after layer on the ocean floor, and eventually that turns into limestone. Now take a look at that picture. Do you notice that in that picture you've got these layers of limestone that have been folded like an accordion? So imagine the amount of force that it must have taken in order to bend that rock and make it look that way. Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, we're now going to talk about the concept of energy.